Hey, everybody, and welcome to Physics 1105 lab course at Randolph College. So this may or may not be your first course at Randolph, but the way that we run the courses is through our Moodle page, which you're seeing right now on your screen. The way to get there is going to moodle.randolphcollege.edu and logging in with your Randolph College credentials. Okay, so you're probably getting this through your email from Randolph College, and but you still may have some trouble getting into Moodle. If so, please call the IT help desk at 434-947-8000 and then ask for the IT help desk. Okay, but let's assume you got in and you can see this page. So everything runs from this page. There'll be a link to this video, and there is the first thing that you can take a look at is our calendar. And I would recommend that you print this out. It's going to be a little small on your screen right now, but I can just point out the colors to you. They'd mean different things. So for instance, anytime you see a black text, it's usually a pre-lab, and we have pre-labs for each lab. So before you do the lab, you do the pre-lab, and should help you with the concepts you need to do the lab. And then in green are just suggested days to do the lab. You do not have to do the lab those days, but it's a good way to keep yourself on schedule. So if you stick to these green days for your lab, I guarantee that you're going to be on time with stuff, right? So it's just a suggestion. There's no Zoom. You don't have to sit on Zoom or anything like that. You're going to do these at your own pace. The only thing is, even though you might be doing them at your own on your own time, we do have due dates, right? So it's meant to sort of keep you on track. Sometimes lab courses like this have no due dates and you can just turn them in whatever, but that's often really not great for students because, some people will end up leaving it all to the last 2 days or something, right? So we try to make it so you don't do that. Anyway, and then in the red are when things are due. Now, the very first lab is a video submission by you. So what you'll do is you'll do the lab activities, and then you'll do the data analysis, and then you'll make a video talking about what results you got, showing me your data, answering any questions that are in the lab manual, and submit the link to that video, right? Okay. Make sure that you make it so that people can view that video. If you're uploading it to YouTube, you can make it unlisted. That means that anyone with the link can get it, but no one can search for it. Okay. That's often the best way. So keep track of when things are due, what the suggested time to do those labs are. All right. So in this first area, you also have the link for our Zoom, right? For lab, for office hours, or if anytime we're going to get on Zoom together, you may request to get on Zoom with me for something, and that would be the same link for everything. Now this says oral lab rubric, but this is really about your video. So you should take a look at this and see, oh, okay, what am I going to be graded on my video? Okay, because it's kind of an oral lab report because you're submitting a video of you talking about your lab. And then we have the formal lab rubric, and I'll explain formal labs in a bit. And then the content of lab kits. Now, there is a few of you who are taking both of these classes at the same time, 1105 and 1106. So make sure that you're looking at this list for that lab kit, okay? When you get that lab kit, please go check that you have this stuff, because if you're down in like lab 8 or something and you realize you don't have something, then we have very little time to get you that, whatever's missing. Now, there really shouldn't be anything missing, but it happens sometimes. Or maybe something broke on the way right to you. So we really wouldn't have time to get it to you unless you look at it. Now, you may not be able to tell if something's broken, but that's rare. But please check, okay? Often students don't do that, and then we're in trouble later, okay? And then as far as office hours goes, we have some office hours here, and then you can call or text my cell phone. That is the best way to get help. So if you text the cell phone, I often see it right away, and I can get back to you right away. And if there's something I can't do for you on text, we can hop on Zoom. If you want to come to an office hour, the best thing to do is just text me and say, I'd like to come to office hours. That just gives me a heads up, right? So texting is really the best way to get a hold of me and to get help. Now, if you text me at like 11 or 12 at night, right? I may not get to you till the next morning, but feel free to text at that time. It's not going to wake me up or anything. It's just that I'm not going to get back to you till the next day. Okay, so let's just scroll down and look at some of the labs. So here's the format for the labs. So there's a little list of when things are due. This first lab also has a bunch of extra stuff that you're supposed to do that you can see in this list, and we'll talk about that in a second. Every lab has an introduction video, a link to the manual, which is a website, and then a pre-lab, which is meant to help you understand the concepts that you're working with. And this, like I said, this first lab has a bunch of stuff to get you up and running. So it has a little lecture and quiz about statistics. It has an introduction to class quiz. It has an Excel quiz, right? These are all sort of interactive quizzes. It's always teaching you something and then asking you some questions. Significant figures quiz, right? Which will also teach you, right? Okay. So even if it says quiz, it's also going to teach you about stuff. And then the link to your report, right? Your oral report video should be posted here. If you post it on, like I said, on YouTube, just make it a link that anyone can access. Okay. And then let's take a look at another one, a lab. So this is lab 2. And when it says report type informal, it means that your report is not a formal report, it is a quiz on Moodle. Okay, so if we scroll down here, we see all the information, we see some extra videos about how to do stuff. And then the informal report quiz is actually the lab report. So this is, it's not like a written up report, it's this quiz that you have to complete. Okay, let's look at lab 3 because this is your first formal written report. All right, now, again, we have an intro video, we have the lab manual, we have some more information videos that you might need, and etc. And then we have a pre-lab, and then some guidelines about how to write up your formal report, and then a quiz about, did you understand those requirements, right? And then you need to submit this formal report, okay, here on Moodle. So you need to understand how to write all that, right? So that's what all that is, trying to help you understand all that. And then now the labs will kind of go back and forth between this informal quiz type report and a formal written report, okay? All right. So I hope that's relatively clear. Please text me with any kind of problem. I'll scroll back up to my number. Okay, so there's the number. This is in case you can't get on Moodle, please call IT, but you can also text me and say, I couldn't get on Moodle, I'm trying to get on. And your class is starting tomorrow, and tomorrow's a big day for you. You have a lot due. So make sure that you're really getting started tomorrow. All right. Good luck, and please reach out to me with any questions that you are having with the lab.